12th question from Digital SAT Test 1 Module 1 from the Bluebook app. And it's a good idea whenever you have a table or a chart or graph, you want to understand what's going on there before you go looking to answer the question. Title, average number of and duration of torpor bouts and arousal episodes for Alaska marmots and Arctic ground squirrels from 2008 to 2011. So first off, what is a torpor bout? And this becomes more apparent as you read the paragraph, but it's a period of inactivity. So if some animal is hibernating, it's the period that they're sleeping, and the arousal episode is like when they wake up. Then we've got the feature, torpor bout duration per bout. Notice torpor is described as a bout. Arousal episodes, duration of the episodes. Arousal is described as an episode. So Alaska marmots, for example, have 12 on average. They have 12 torpor bouts, and that's why you could have something like 10.5 for the Arctic ground squirrel because it's based on an average. How long the bout lasts, 13.81, 16.77 days. Arousal episodes, that's a number of episodes. So there's 11 times when the Alaska marmot wakes up. On average, 9.5 times Arctic ground squirrel wakes up. And Alaska marmot on average wakes up for 21.2 hours. Arctic ground squirrels on average wakes up for 14.2 hours each time it wakes up. Paragraph, when hibernating, Alaska marmots and Arctic ground squirrels enter a state called torpor, which minimizes the energy their bodies need to function. Often a hibernating animal will temporarily come out of torpor, called an arousal episode. So that's when they're waking up, coming out of the torpor arousal episode. And its metabolic rate will rise, burning more of the precious energy the animal needs to survive the winter. Alaska marmots hibernate in groups and therefore burn less energy, keeping warm during these episodes than they would if they were alone. A researcher hypothesized that because Arctic ground squirrels hibernate alone, they would likely exhibit longer bouts of torpor and shorter arousal episodes than the Alaska marmots. Question is, which choice best describes data from the table that support the researcher's hypothesis? So just based on the question itself, you've got to cross-reference the data from the table and the researcher's hypothesis. If it's in one and not the other, it's wrong. So this is how it's likely it's going to go down on test 8 when you're approaching the question. Usually it's a little bit easier to look at the chart than it is to look at the paragraph, because then you know what you're looking for. Answer is A. Alaska marmots arousal episode lasted for days. Let's see. Alaska marmots, we're over here. Arousal episodes lasted for days. 21.2 hours, not days. A is gone without even reading the second half. While Arctic ground squirrels arousal lasted less than days. I mean, that's true, but the first part makes it wrong. Answer is B. Alaska marmots and Arctic ground squirrels both maintain torpor for several consecutive days per bout. So duration per bout. More than 1 day. More than 1 day. Answer is B is true. We're going to leave it. Don't choose it. Leave it. Answer is C. Alaska marmots had shorter torpor bouts and longer arousal episodes than the Arctic ground squirrels did. Let's see. Alaska marmots, again, we're over here. Did they have shorter torpor bouts? Torpor bouts. Shorter, 13.81 days versus 16.7 days. Yes, they had shorter torpor bouts. And then it says longer arousal episodes. Arousal episodes 21.2 hours. That's longer than 14.2 hours. Answer choice C is true as well. And that's why you don't want to just choose. You want to, not eliminate if it's true based on the table. We still got to check the passage. Answer choice D. The Alaska marmots had more torpor bouts than arousal episodes. Let's see. Alaska marmots, again, we're here. More torpor bouts, 12 torpor bouts than arousal episodes, 11 arousal episodes. True. But the arousal episodes were much shorter than their torpor bouts. Arousal episodes, 21.2 hours, much shorter than their torpor bouts. Their torpor bouts, 13.81 days. That's true as well. Both parts of that's true. So then you might be scratching your head. Oh crap, 3 of these answer choices are true. And worst comes to worst, now you're choosing 1 out of 3 rather than 1 out of 4. You're more likely to get the question correct. But what we didn't look at yet It's got to support the data's research hypothesis. What is a hypothesis? Notice I underlined the last sentence. A researcher hypothesized, blah, 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 blah. Now notice what it says. Before we go into exactly what it says and exactly what the correct answer is, I want you to consider this, and this applies to the most difficult SAT questions. Let's say the blue team is stronger but less talented. And then the question is, how is the red team? Well, if the blue team is stronger but less talented, the red team must be weaker but more talented. So it's got to be opposite. It's got to be what it's compared to. So this is talking about Arctic ground squirrels. They hibernate alone. So they have longer bouts of torpor. Let's see if the Alaskan ground squirrels have longer bouts of torpor. Arctic ground squirrels, right here. Their torpor is 16.77 days versus 13.81 days. So they do have longer bouts. What's that mean for Alaskan marmots? Alaskan marmots have shorter bouts. So check this out. Answer C says the Alaskan marmots have shorter torpor bouts. Okay. What else is this answer say? Or what's the hypothesis say? It says that the Arctic ground squirrels have shorter arousal episodes. Arctic ground squirrels, arousal episodes, 14.2, that's shorter than Alaskan marmots. Now, if we're looking at Alaskan marmots, what the answer choice C is saying, then they have longer arousal episodes. Longer arousal episodes. C is your answer because that's what's stated in the passage. Now, although it's true, answer choice B is true based on the data in the table, Alaskan marmots and Arctic ground squirrels both maintain torpor for several consecutive days per bout on average. It's going to be wrong because it's not directly answering the question. That is not the researcher's hypothesis. So you can see an answer choice could be true but wrong, which is also among the toughest of questions on SAT. So answer choice D. Again, true but wrong. Alaskan marmots had more torpor bouts than arousal episodes. But the hypothesis is not comparing Alaskan marmots' torpor bouts to their arousal episodes. Arousal episodes are much shorter than their torpor bouts. It's not comparing Alaskan marmots to Alaskan marmots. It's comparing Alaska marmots to Arctic ground squirrels. C is your correct answer. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. You can share it with someone who has difficulty with this type of a question. Reading the data in the chart, the table, and cross-referencing the passage. These are among the most difficult reading comprehension questions on the SAT. If there's any question you'd like to answer from any official PSAT or SAT or ACT, leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to shoot a video on it. Click subscribe so you don't miss anything, and check out our 1-minute video on TikTok.